So many people vote for a flashy smile and charisma rather than substance.
At the Ron Paul headquarters in Des Moines, volunteers work the phones. It's a hub of activity, in contrast to the Iowa campaign offices of Mitt Romney, which was still closed at mid-morning. Paul is leaps and bounds ahead of Romney and Newt Gingrich in the ground game in Iowa, and it's now paying dividends.
And the one thing that's characteristic about our campaign is when people join our campaign, they rarely leave. They're real solid, determined supporters. They understand what the message is about, and they agree with that. So I think it's a very good sign. I think in political terms, it means that we're probably peaking at the right time.
The latest polling from the American Research Group shows Romney and Paul tied at 17% in Iowa and Gingrich at 22%. Paul's supporters are not likely to sway in the political breeze. They eagerly eat up his message: smaller government, fiscal discipline, and strict interpretation of the Constitution. Paul's support comes from a variety of passionate groups: the youth, Tea Party members, and homeschoolers, a group very politically active in Iowa. Conservative radio host Steve Day says Paul has a very good chance of pulling off an upset in the state.
Organizationally, he's very well organized, has really a devoted following. He also has several people around the state, people that I know, that have done a very good job, for lack of a better word, evangelizing the Ron Paul philosophy of governance.
Paul has an authentic, folksy style that plays well not just in Iowa, but also with this breakfast crowd in a New Hampshire deli.
You're reading the right stuff.
He also has, though, what some conservatives see as political baggage, particularly on foreign policy. Paul wants to end all foreign aid, including to key U.S. ally Israel, and he wants the U.S. to have a much smaller role on the world stage. That might make it tough for Paul to sell his message beyond the Iowa caucuses.
He has very passionate followers. His supporters are very passionate and will do anything for him. It is a little bit difficult for Ron Paul to expand his list of supporters. He's not going to take a lot of people who previously were hardcore Republicans or hardcore Democrats and become Ron Paul supporters.
Ron Paul's strategy includes wooing independents in Iowa, and they can take part in the caucuses. And if there is enough momentum coming out of Iowa, that could reshuffle the whole GOP field. Lisa Sylvester, CNN, Washington.